Adagio, moderato, allegro vivace are the terms we use for tempo, and they mean slowly, moderate speed, fast bright, very fast and lively, and is used to just not that tempo, fuck that music theory shit in my anime card games. The tempo that I want to talk today about is tempo in Vanguard, also synonymous to momentum. Let's take a look at this sweet presentation I made for you guys. In Vanguard, tempo or momentum is a metaphysical object that can't be seen but can be felt by usually both players. When you're on the back foot, it's safe to conclude that your opponent is currently in possession of the game's momentum. Likewise, you'll also know when the tempo is in your favor. Examples of both is when you're holding your last pathetic cards against Chaos after they've hard negged you 5 from Double Close Deluge and Muleptin. An example of when you've got tempo is when they let Die Earth hit and you've got the boy Laurel on the field. These are obvious examples and latently known for all players, but I want to bring up a deeper understanding of the concept, and to begin so is to know that a momentum delta is shown on the turn after a big tempo play. Since we can see that the player whose grasp of the game's momentum generally ends up the winner, our goal is to get momentum. So how do we do that? For this Cram School session, I would like to redefine tempo and momentum. Momentum being the abstract object that the player in a lead is possessing, allowing them to set the pace of the game since they've got more resources and thus more cards to make decisions with. As you can see in the two examples here, opponent has more momentum here, more cards, more resources, etc. And in this one, you've got momentum because you've got more cards, more resources, and this allows you to have more options to make plays with. Term being tempo. Tempo refers to threat plays that either player can make. That can be plus tempo or minus tempo, meaning to increase your own momentum or to decrease your opponent's momentum. Once again, I'll give examples for tempo plays. A plus tempo play would be something generally aggressive, such as the Wingle Youth Rush, and this will set you ahead. In contrast, a minus tempo play would be something then defensive, which sets your opponent back, such as the Mukuro Field Wipe. Now, the reason why I said that momentum delta shows a turn after a big tempo play is that your opponent now has a chance to respond to your threats. They can do a plus tempo play to match your tempo. So in this example, let's say you've made a tempo play, you've called down an extra unit, you've hit them, so now you've got 5 arbitrarily units of momentum. They can do a plus tempo play to match your tempo, and thus they also go up 5 units momentum, and thus the momentum delta is 0 again. Contrary, same example, you've done a nice tempo play, you've got some momentum, you've got 5 units. Contrary, they can do a minus tempo play and attack your threats instead of you. What this does is instead of attacking you, they attack your resources, and this brings your momentum down. Back down to 0, and this sets the delta back down to 0 again. If your opponent can't properly respond, the momentum delta ends up in your favor, and thus, after that turn cycle, it can be said that you currently possess momentum. Which is why aggro decks like Blasters and Aquaphors are always strong because they always have plus tempo plays to make, and because of the restrictions on calling and guarding in the early game, it's harder for a player to match their tempo. Now that that's said and done, you might be wondering, okay, so momentum and tempo are cool, how can I use this knowledge to further myself as a player? And to respond to that, I'm going to refer back to my prior Cram School video of win cons. Knowing your deck and knowing your opponent's deck is important to know what kind of tempo play you need to make defensively or offensively in order to win. Against high tempo decks like Nova Grapplers, if you try and match them and do high tempo plays to their high tempo plays, instead of knocking them down a peg, you're playing to their favor because these high tempo decks, Aquaphors, Blasters, Nova Grapplers, they love to play high tempo. And you're playing towards them, this gives them the resources they need in order to keep this giant momentum ass game in their favor. Instead, you should be doing minus tempo plays to knock them down a peg, hit those rears, deny them resources they require. Likewise, slower pace decks like Mega Colony and Oracle Think Tank desire the game to be slower so they can grind you out, hit their stacks. They'll aggressively make minus tempo plays such as stunning you, just drawing extra, and you need not to respond by making another minus tempo play to match their momentum, but to make a fast tempo play to destabilize them. Of course, the rule seems to be make plus tempo plays against slow decks and minus tempo plays against fast decks. Remember your own win con as well, and set or respond the game's pace accordingly. Sometimes you need to meet in the middle ground, bring your tempo up while bringing their tempo down. That way you still match momentum. Eventually you'll be able to make your own tempo plays to grab the momentum again. To summarize everything up, tempo and momentum are very similar, but momentum is the goal and tempo is the method. You want to firmly grasp the momentum of the game in your hand, as the player with momentum is usually the victor. To do so, you want to be the first to get it and hold on to it for the majority of the game. This is your plus tempo play. Otherwise, you want to pry it from your opponent's grasp, and this will be your minus tempo plays. I hope this video was able to bring a little bit of deeper insight for Vanguard momentum tempo for everyone watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell button down below. In the comments down below, leave down what you know about tempo momentum and what tips you think other people would benefit from. Let me know if you prefer this new presentation style of Cram School videos, or if you'd rather just like look at our ugly mugs, talk to you guys, and basically have more expression maybe, rather than the informatics. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about this new kind of video. Thanks for watching. This has been Toku from YellowCard Vanguard. Toku out.